Yes, I think that people will have to learn more about how to use video as a medium. I think if we look at how desktop publishing emerged, initially people created terrible, ransom notes with every possible font and terrible typography because they had the tools and they didn't know how to use them properly. But over time, people have learned how to use those tools, and now it's quite possible for even a small business to create a very polished looking piece of print reproduction very cost effectively. And I think we'll see the same thing happening in video, but it will take time for people to learn those skills, and it will probably be a new generation that comes through that's much more used to using video as a primary medium of communication that will be able to do that. So again, I think that there's a generational thing there. My academic background was actually creating a field that I called video literacy, which was actually what's involved mentally in processing video images to understand video narratives. So I became very interested in how people actually understand video as a medium, and it's actually very poorly understood, and even within the professionals in the video industry it's a craft really, and they're very poor at actually understanding and articulating how they're putting together these sequences, and for them it's very instinctive, and it's through custom and practice and trade and craft skill, but we have to actually distill some of that knowledge, because there's good stuff in there that we shouldn't throw away. There are rules, just as there are rules in typography or any other creative medium, that it's sensible to follow, and you can ignore them at your peril, but if you know what you're doing, you can break them. And I think the same is true of video. So there are things that, basic premises and precepts that we need to understand about how we communicate with video as a medium. And just because we've got the tools, just because we've got cheap cameras, doesn't mean that we're all going to make wonderful works of video art. But it's much more open to people to do that, and it's possible for people to experiment at low cost and learn from their own mistakes. So I think over time we'll see this becoming much more sophisticated and mature, and as I say, it looks a little bit like the transition that we've seen around print, and I think we'll see the same thing with video. And in the future I think that people will use video as a communication medium much as they might use colour photography today.